bro. I ain't doing all that. Nah, spanky.
Hello, 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 everybody. It is the Collective Podcast. We are live. Yeah, your boy Elijah Green in the building, and my partner C Fox. What's
Yes,
good?
sir.
Yeah.
I'm over here fighting flies. My bad. What's going on, y'all?
In the midst of real life,
Not for
But yeah, glad to be
all
here.
love. You already know, going up the ladder as usual.
Appreciate everybody, anybody, all y'all for tuning in for sure.
Mhm.
And yeah, like I said, glad to be here. Been a very few interesting days. We did an episode last week, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
So here we go. Two
Yeah.
weeks consistency. Huh? How about that? Look at
Yes, sir.
we in this joint.
Is
Yeah,
can
but
is can you hear the music and the church stuff in the background or no?
nah, you good. You good.
All right, you know the people say
Yeah.
you have the TV up and you know.
But yeah, I know you got to get Roman to bed pretty soon. So let's go ahead and get into what we getting into.
For sure.
All right. So we got this video um dealing with the rapper Tupac. Yeah, just talking about his work ethic. And yeah, just want to watch it, react to it, and go from there. You know. And yeah, before we do that, just because I watched this video last night, and it touches upon kind of the setting that he put himself in. He surrounded himself with people that could that had skills and talents that he didn't have. At the same time, he was able to, utilize his influence and this the energy that he had with everything that he did. How he
Mm-hmm.
was able to, put things together and make things work and produce, art in a very efficient manner that was, looked at as popular at the time. So yeah, I want to touch upon just the positives and negatives of you know Tupac's kind of last days. Um,
Mm-hmm.
just as far as the art and the work ethic, as far as yeah, and the energy that he brought with it all.
One thing we just to point out, one thing that we were speaking on before we hopped on that like kind of stood out with me as we get started is the destructive productivity. You know, just keep that in the back of your heads as we go through the pros and cons and stuff like that. So
Yeah, yeah, because yeah, that's real out here.
yeah, yeah. If
Mm.
you know what Tupac was and what he was about and his story and things he did or didn't do, the people he hung around, you know. Some I know some people can relate to it or kind of help that guy. That you know, so
Yeah, just a story and an example to take heed to.
yeah,
Does it sound good?
yeah, yeah. It's good. I can hear you. Yes, sir.
I bet.
See, and even even just starting off, you can tell like his love and passion for what he does.
Yeah, no, for sure. That it's important. and it shows in the fact that people still making videos about him.
Right,
What 20, 30 years after he's
right, yeah,
Artist that ever lived. When it came to pure output, nobody in the game came close. And while most of us will never reach even a fraction of what he built, there are things buried in the way he operated that most people missed. Once you see them, they'll sharpen you in ways that safe advice never could. For example, just in his last 11 months alive, Tupac recorded 150 songs, filmed 3 movies, dropped 2 albums, and performed across 2 continents. Man never sat still. But what was fueling all of that? There was a fire behind it, and that fire had a very specific source. Law 1: compete.
Ain't no other record company out there that sold as many records as we did. We outsold Bad Boy, LaFaze, every black record label out there. We outsold them in 1 year. All these weak rappers, Nas, all these suckers, they battling. If this was chess, we'd be yelling checkmate 3 years ago, because we been beat these.
Back in the 90s, the talent pool in the rap game was absurd. Classics dropping left and right. If you weren't getting better every week, somebody was taking your spot. Most people would drown in that kind of pressure. Tupac, man, he ran on it. He competed with everyone. Nas, Biggie, Bad Boy Records, the entire East Coast establishment. At 20 years old, still promoting his first record, he went on local television and called out MC Hammer, the best-selling name in hip-hop at the time.
He did sell 10 million records, but crack fiends bought 10 million rocks. That don't mean crack is good.
It was in his DNA, and that intensity was contagious. It followed him into every room. When he arrived at Death Row, Corrupt and Daz Dillinger, 2 of the label's own rappers and producers had been spending 12-hour sessions making a single song. Tupac told them they were wasting time.
And it was like Tupac, like, man, if y'all in there for 12 hours and you ain't made about 8 records, bullshit. I'm like, damn.
And just like that, the pace of the entire building changed. He raised the temperature just by walking in. And I mean that literally. His engineer Tommy D said that Tupac used to turn the air conditioning off in the studio and make it hot like prison.
He'd want to turn the air conditioning off, make it hot like prison, and just totally get into it.
Think about that. The man wanted the room to feel like a cell. That was the atmosphere. That's how he liked it.
It wasn't a peace, love, and happiness vibe. It was more of get the job done, you get it right, you're concentrating. It's like pro sports. You're not, you know what I mean?
Tupac walked into the studio like Mike Tyson, deep in fight camp, hot, grinding, preparing to rip somebody's belt away. And everybody in that room either kept up or got out the way.
I didn't know his work habits, right? When we finished.
So yeah. What we see
I,
so far.
I like how they describe his approach and his energy in the studio. I never really thought of it like that before, because his focus and his determined, like he said, it wasn't really like a peace, love, and happiness kind of vibe. Like he got in there like Mike Tyson, like he was ready to dominate and get the job done. He was, you know, I like how they describe it like that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And
And
so
yeah, yeah,
now,
not not much. I'm just gonna say, it's definitely something I can relate to.
right,
Um,
right, yeah,
just in a sense of I like to, how do I say it? You know, yeah, for lack of a better term, I like to like look at my life kind of as like art in the way that I live.
yeah,
And I take everything I do, and like I take all of my experiences with me, and like I kind of bring it into what I do.
mm-hmm,
Um, yeah, I'm not gonna get too personal and into my habits right now, but um, yeah, I think anybody that whether you whether you play a sport, whether you rap, like whatever you do, you're looking to be be good at what you do, and then
right, right,
you look at the people that he was up against, in a sense, who, when he dropped the album, Nas and Biggie were dropping albums at the same time.
Mhm.
It's like, those people were pushing each other to be, their best selves, which is definitely a good thing. That just having people who are that that you have to look at, and know that they're coming and they're going to bring it, that forces you to just just be on your toes and know
Right.
that you gotta be on point, and you can't play around. Like you gotta you
It's
gotta, you gotta take what you do serious.
it's definitely relatable, especially like off what you said in the video itself. It's like sometimes you gotta be in that mode. Like sometimes when you in that mode, like you gotta buckle down and focus and get it done. You know, is some people that's a little harder to do than others, but at the end of the day, it's like you gotta lock in.
Yeah. And we also saw him in the interviews, kind of how he spoke about others. Like, in my opinion, that's the the hot headedness, or the
Mhm.
and even the maybe immature version of somebody. That's just my opinion, but I'll give it. It's putting names out there, and always, um, you know, I think it's more so important to compete in the art than necessarily to
Definitely,
always be
definitely.
be putting other just saying other people's names, and for the sake of it. But
I
teach his
think
own.
I think that's a lost art in a sense because it's like a lot of times nowadays you don't want to step on toes, but it's like nah, step on their toes, step on all their toes, cause like step on their fingers too,
Yeah, and
cause
and
at
and,
the end
and
of the day, it's like I give you your flowers, I give you props, but you don't
mhm,
got it like me. Like I said, it's like a athletic mindset. It's like I give you your flowers, but I'm still the best. Like
yeah,
you're not gonna ask a basketball player or a boxer or a whatever the case may be. You ask them who the best. They're not gonna say, "Oh yeah, they better than." They're not gonna say that. They're gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm on top."
no, for sure. You know,
Even if you know
let
that's
you let
not
you
the
know who they
even
watching.
right,
Let you know who they watching, but always let it be known, like,
right, right.
the man. All right, let's continue.
It's the first track. I was like, great, I can take a break. I walk in, Tupac looks at me and throws his book at me with lyrics and was like, you motherfucker, if you ever leave this studio again, I'm gonna kick your fucking ass. And I'm like, dang.
That's what real competition does to your output, not journaling about personal growth, having actual faces across from you, names you refuse to lose to, people winning in territory you consider yours. And the thing is, you don't have to manufacture that. You just have to stop pretending it doesn't exist. That rivalry you feel towards somebody in your field, that person whose work keeps you up at night, that's not a character flaw, that's fuel. Use it. In 1898, a psychologist named Norman Triplett noticed that cyclists rode faster when another cyclist was in the lane next to them, not racing a clock, just a body next to them. That one observation launched an entire field of research. And what they found since is simple: a specific rival, a face, not a concept, activates a gear that no abstract goal will ever reach. Tupac ran on this instinctively. You don't need an enemy, you need someone whose work won't let you sit still, and an environment where the pace around you forces you to keep up. The competition needs fuel, and the fuel Tupac
Hmm.
was running on came from a place most people would rather not talk about. Law
Hmm.
2: channel the negativity.
See,
Anytime it's a
okay,
role for a young black man who deals
it's
with
not to keep stopping it, but it's
No, that's a
something I
good
want
point.
to. It's something I want to bounce off that. That reminds me of the saying, um, if you're the smartest in the room, or if you're like the best in the room or in your group, then find a new room. And I I I feel like it kind of falls in that kind of subject. Because like you said, like I definitely agree on the fact that the competitive, the competitiveness, the growth aspect of it, like it definitely needs fuel. Because even me personally, being in spaces where it's like, I'm not really, I'm the one kind of like stepping up to the plate, or I'm the one kind of like, you know, taking charge, or I'm like the head banger, and so I kind of need more. I need someone to push me to that edge. I need something to push me to that edge. Then you go out and find it, or try to find it, and then it's like you always like different people need that spark.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's important in life. You know, everybody needs different, things that's gonna get them, inspired, to get to that next level, or whatever. So yeah, everybody needs somebody, to, or you just need something in the sense to look at, that's gonna push them, for sure. And I mean, a man was signed to Death Row Records. He had access to Tupac, and I mean, he is Tupac. He had access to Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg.
Right, right, yeah, right.
Those were the people he was working with. And
And just them, knowing them alone, like they was always elevating, always getting better, always working, always experimenting. You never want to stay like in your box, try new stuff. So he had people like that around him. So it was like he had no choice but to keep going higher and higher. It was like I think nah. I was about to say him and Snoop Dogg started acting around the same time, but I want to say Tupac was acting before Snoop Dogg though.
yeah, Tupac was acting dry early.
Yeah. So he was already like pushing those boundaries and stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. All right.
Pain, that's my role. I'm made for that role.
Tupac grew up channeling negativity. He was 15, no father. His mother was struggling with addiction. That's what the art school in Baltimore was: poetry, dancing, acting. Every one of those art forms gave him the same thing: a way through. But music? That was the only one where the pain actually left his body when he was done.
All my songs deal with the pain that I felt from my childhood. That's what makes me do what I do.
Pain comes in, work comes out. By the time he had a record deal, that was the only way he knew how to operate. And here's where it gets really interesting. Because what happens when you take that away? In
That
11 months
expression.
locked up in correctional, Tupac read a ton of
Hmm.
books, wrote an entire autobiographical screenplay. But songs? One. One in 11 months.
Prison kills your spirit. There is no creativity as far as me. It just killed my spirit. I couldn't write.
But the creativity didn't die. The exit got blocked. He could read, he could write about his past. That was survival. The only thing that actually channeled his pain. The music? Prison shut that down. He'd been shot 5 times, convicted for something he said he didn't do. Locked in a cell at 23, alone. The rage, the betrayal, watching his rivals win from behind bars. All of it with nowhere to go. And that's the thing about pain when you can't get it out, you know?
Yeah, now before we go forward though, just they talked about, you know, him in art school, and all that, like how he used, you know, music, and before that the stage, like he went to the school of performing arts. So you asked a question about acting, like he was like, he kind of grew up, acting in that theater kind of sense.
I really did. I didn't even know that honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, but you see that he was able to, you know channel
Hmm.
everything, all of his experiences, you
Well,
know.
you know that that makes sense though, because most artists, regardless of what art form or genre, like most artists got some type of background. That's like athletes, like you, like most athletes got some type of background. Most artists got some type of background, like some way, shape, or form.
No, for sure. And yeah, it's just utilizing the energy that comes from that and pouring
Yeah,
that into your expression.
yeah.
It doesn't fade, it just builds. 11 months of that. Then on October 12th, 1995, Suge Knight posted his bail. Tupac flew to Los Angeles, and that night, he went straight to the studio.
It was like if somebody had took a balloon and just kept blowing air in it, but never tied it off, just kept blowing air in it. That was him sitting in jail. And then when they let that nigga out, they let the air out.
12 hours a day, every day, till people around him literally started passing out.
I've been in the studio since today. I got out about 12 hours a day. Until they kick me out, it'd be dark and everybody got to go to sleep. Well, people be passing out, so I'll be like, okay, I guess we got to go home now.
Then he came back early in the morning and did it again. It was the only place where his pain, his anger, his negativity could be processed.
Doing this just what the music is, preventing my anger. Plus, I was locked down for 11 months, so I got a lot of stress and pressure to, get up
Man,
off
that
my chest.
work
That's why I
ethic,
stayed in the
man.
studio.
And once it had somewhere to go, everything came out at once. In roughly 5 days, he laid down the core of All Eyes on Me. 27 tracks, a double album.
I think he came out of jail on
You
a
don't
Thursday
even
or
see
Friday.
work
And by
ethic
like
like
Monday
that
or Tuesday,
these
All Eyes on
days.
Me was done.
He described once what it took to finish the song.
I wrote only one song in jail. Everything else I wrote while we sat up in here drinking Buckweiser. And after the Buckweiser was gone, we have a song usually.
Snoop was there for all of it. And the way he describes it, you can tell he still can't wrap his head around what he saw.
He worked like a fucking racehorse. Like the way I work now, I ain't half as what he is. Like here you saying both, I'm like Carl Lewis.
Every negative experience you go through produces energy, anger, grief, that feeling of being betrayed by someone you trusted. Your body doesn't go quiet when these things happen. It runs. Energy doesn't disappear, it changes form. And it only goes one of two places. In 1986, a psychologist named James
Okay,
Fenneman tested
so
this. He asked people,
I got something to bounce off that. So them speaking on the emotions of the life experiences and like what you're going through and stuff like that. I feel as though there's actually a study on this, but most of, no, not even most, everyone that has like so-called made it or made success in their life off their craft or anything like that, they kind of learn that tool for themselves, like which is expression. Like if you're feeling something, if you're going through something, if you're going through highs and lows or whatever the case may be, that's really like the tool. Like that's really like the T. Like learn how to express yourself, in what way and when. Like learning how and when to express yourself in a productive and creative form, like that's really like the key for real. Like
Yeah.
just not like sitting there with it, because that's really how people get stuck or fail or really like lose that spark for real. Lose that spark for real. Because it's like so learning to how to get it out, that's what's going to like push you up for real, not just sitting there in it.
Yeah. It's just letting go
Right, right, right.
and learning, is you either let it go or you live anxious and in your mind and and not, like being who you claim you are in a sense.
Right.
People to write about their
But yeah, before we start back, that work ethic, it was
That
something
work
different.
ethic, that work ethic is beautiful, man.
Hmm.
You don't even see work ethic like that these days from most people. Like you
Yeah,
got people here and there, like behind the scenes, that's working like that, but you know,
even the people that we say are great today, you know, when they saw it, they can't even compare themselves to what that was. So you it was special. Um, at the same time, it's important to know how to channel that expression as well,
yeah, right.
and remember that he was 25, um, and given so much power and energy.
One thing I'm learning too, though, to make it short, because this is like a whole another topic, but just to make it short, like one thing I'm learning within myself, because between us, you've known me for a while, like you know how my work ethic can be. So it's like I'm learning the fact of addictive productivity or excessive productivity. You know,
Hmm.
where it's like you're kind of like running over yourself. You kind of like, you know, giving too much or doing too much. Like you're not spacing. Even my grandmother was just telling me, like she like space some stuff out. Like you got this on this day, and you doing this the next day, and you got that on Saturday, and it's like spacing some. But like it's like looking back, I was telling her like, I gotta get stuff done, do I gotta do da da da. But it's like now I kind of I get it, because it's like you run yourself short after a while.
Yeah, it's important. You definitely don't want to do that. But at the same time, there is a time that you go get it,
Yeah,
and
keep
you
it
go,
going.
you sometimes you go until
Keep
you
it
crash,
going.
and then you crash, and then you come right back, and then you
Uh-huh.
go again.
Uh-huh.
So
That's the cycle.
there's a time and place for everything, for sure. But you got to understand both sides.
Right. That's it. Right. You're right.
worst experiences. 15 minutes a day, 4 days straight. The group that got it out visited the doctor at
Hold on, I
halftime,
can't even
but
see
just
that
then.
joint.
Tupac didn't process the
Appreciate that.
There you go.
pain and didn't create. He created. And that was the processing.
I figured this would be the best way to reinvent it instead of paying some psychotherapist like $50 million. I just went to the studio. It's cheaper.
The act of expressing it forces your brain to process it. Instead of the same thought cycling over and over, you move them out and they stop running you. But that kind of intensity can only last so long unless you know how to manage it. Law 3. Rotate the pressure. On a typical night at Can-Am, Tupac wasn't working in one studio. He was running between all of them.
He would come wipe that shit down real quick, like just a cool dude. Come on, we share a blunt and run in there and rap the shit. Or I'm done. I'm like, all right, I'll see you in a minute. He leave out the studio, walk right out the door, boom, go around to Studio B, start working with Johnny J, go in there and do How Do You Want It. Dre sent me the data California Love. Like, let me see what this sound like up front.
California Love, made between rooms.
Then he'll come back in there with me and we'll do another song.
3 producers running simultaneously, tracks being built in parallel, and Tupac rotating between all of it. That looks like chaos from the outside. From the inside, it was a system, and one he explicitly taught to the people around him.
I thought that, if I rap on this, Dad's got to lay his verse. We got to have a finished song when we leave, and that's all we need for the day. Tupac is like, bullshit. He's like, you ain't got to complete them, nigga. You just lay one verse on this one, lay a hook on this one, then you go to this other one. I was like, oh shit, I never thought of it like that.
Nobody had. That was the whole point.
Like, man, spread this shit out, man. I was like, you right.
When the resistance hits, you don't stop, you redirect. Same intensity, just a different part of the project. The energy stays alive because you keep it moving.
I did my whole house like 3 songs a day because I was just laying it, rocking it, and getting on.
He never let himself sit on one track long enough to stall. Every time he stepped away from something and came back, he saw it with fresh eyes. And every time he moved to the next track, he carried momentum from the last one.
Yeah, I think that's an important piece there. I think in order
Agree.
to
I definitely agree.
in order to really be successful, and be able to have that influence, and then you have to understand how to carry that energy. Um,
Right.
you have
And
to
how
understand.
it bounce around and keep it going.
Yeah, you have to understand momentum and how to create it, how to build it, even how to dial it down sometimes.
Right.
But yeah, you got to understand all aspects. And him, bouncing between rooms, working, with the top producers at the time is, just a clear showing of how he was able to produce so many, tracks that people love, and still listen to. So yeah, understand momentum and understand the importance of multitasking as a creative, as an artist, how to, be working on different pieces.
Right.
And the importance of not, always looking at one thing all the time.
Even speaking on, you know, going back to the whole artistry, the painter aspect. It's been times where I've 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 been working on two, three, four paintings at a time, or I'll be doing I'll bounce from one photo shoot, be editing the other one, work on this video. Yeah. I feel like after a while too, once you learn your rhythm and learn like your craft and you progress and everything, it it becomes something you do every night. So
Yeah, and there's levels to this. So
right, right,
when you're learning a skill, you need to be. It's important for you to focus, on a specific task, master that task, and move on. But once you get to a level that you are creating quality, then you have to. It's time to level up and be able to work on different things, and then again understanding that momentum, and not moving, experiencing, and bring
right.
that experience back so you have have fresh eyes when it comes to your creativity.
Especially getting to especially getting to a point where it's like you're in a space where you getting clients or something like that, or anything of that sort of energy. It's like when you're starting to take on orders or do things for other people, not just yourself. It's kind of like sometimes you'll have those moments where it's like you got deadlines or you got like stuff to do and stuff, like you can't really afford the time and the money, time, or space to really like take it one after another. Like you gotta move. So not to
Mm.
rush and mess up, but it's like at the same time you gotta move. So
And you got to be a master of your time. You
right,
gotta
right, right.
you gotta know how you work and know what your responsibilities are. And I have a lot to do in my day. And at the same time, everybody sees me on my phone all day, and I'm on my, I'm editing something, I'm working on something, trying to post something, I'm doing something.
Uh-huh.
That's a part of it. You gotta, hey, it's the structure, but it's a little chaos too. You gotta be able to
Yeah, right. Yeah.
handle the chaos. Don't be scared of the chaos.
Uh-huh.
In 2017, researchers at Columbia Business School gave people two creative tasks. One group
Oh, it
finished task
happened
A
again,
before starting
Brody. I
task
can't
B.
see.
The other group switched back and forth between them both.
The people
The
gotta
group that
see.
switched outperformed the group that did every time. The reason? Cognitive fixation. Stay on one thing too long and your brain locks into one approach. Like a saw stuck in the same cut. You shift the angle, it starts moving again. Switching breaks the lock. Tupac didn't need the research. He just called it, spread this shit out. He never left the building. He changed rooms. You don't step away from the project, you rotate within it. But there's still one thing that can still kill all of that momentum. And it's the most natural instinct any creative person has. Law 4. Don't look back. At Death Row, there is a ritual every other artist follow. You finish a track, you play it back. You listen, you adjust. You listen again. Sometimes you listen all day. Snoop described how it worked under Dr. Dre.
We're gonna be in the studio. He got one beat playing. We're gonna write to this one beat all day till we make a hit record. When we do a song with Dre, if we finish with it, we listen to that all day. Everybody come in and we play that Put it in the car, we listen to it. Take it to the house, we listen to it. And then we come back and do a song maybe a week later.
That was the standard. That was how records got made. Tupac didn't do any of that.
He would never, most people would come in the studio, hey, let me hear my last 8 songs I did. He never even wanted to hear the shit back. He would never ever request, hey, let me hear that song. And he'd never say nothing like, hey, that mix ain't right or that shit. He didn't give a crap about that. All he cared about, like he said to me once, just put my vocals real loud, turn the drums up, and I don't give a shit about anything else.
3 songs in an hour?
He was
Never
worried about
listened to a
creating.
single.
3 songs, he ain't
He's
listened
not
to
worried
now
about being perfect.
That sounds reckless. It sounds like a man who doesn't care about his craft. But listen to what the people around him actually observed. His trumpet player Willie Waldman put it this way.
Pac, like the flow, you necessarily didn't have to have the perfect part, but if it flowed right, you were cool. And they moved on.
Flow. That's the word. What Tupac protecting wasn't sloppiness. It was the feeling that lived inside the first take. The raw thing that came out of him in the moment. The anger, the pain, the energy from everything we've already talked about. That was in the first pass. Going back to
Yeah, that's definitely important. What's up, man? My man still up. I know it's about his bedtime. um,
He over
but
here slamming, causing destruction. I'm about to say, it was
we know how it is. But
killing the boy.
those old school, rappers or like the people that listen to that early '90s rap. Everybody always kind of had that same consensus. Nobody ever called Tupac, the best lyricist or the best, rapper per se. You know,
Right.
that always went to like, the East Coast rappers. But, people always loved Tupac was, the most popular rapper during this time. More so just because just because of how
Elmo.
how he made people feel. You know what I'm saying? Like it was more just about feeling and
Yeah.
and just like, people felt what
Right.
he expressed.
Elmo. we Elmo.
Mm.
We usually put Elmo on when we getting ready for night.
It's
So
that
he
one
like,
time.
yeah, he like, where Elmo at?
I feel you.
That's basically him telling me like wrap
It's
it,
not
come
for
on,
Elmo.
wrap it up there, yeah.
Nah. Say less. Say less,
he
Romster.
said,
It's this
he
your
said,
time.
he
I got
said, he said, where Elmo at?
you. We shoot. It's what? It's 5 more minutes left, but we done did 40 minutes. That's a pretty good amount of time.
No, no, definitely.
All right, y'all. We'll catch y'all
We
next
gotta get
time.
Elmo, man.
We will catch y'all next week.
Say bye bye. You want to say
Yeah,
bye bye to the people?
yeah.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
Romy. Bye, Romster. All right. We will catch y'all next week.
Love y'all, man.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Moving We keep moving up that ladder, yo.
Yeah.
Bye
Peace.
bye. You.